Friends, in this lecture, we are going to study 8051 microcontrollers serial port theory or serial port communication. How communication happens in this modern era. How communication happens in microprocessor. This is what explained in this topic. This topic is basic for all the communications. So this topic is very important from the communication point of view, from the uh, microcontrollers serial port theory point of view. This is very interesting topic. We all know that communication happens through transmitter and receiver. Transmitter pin transmits the data and receiver pin receives the data. So the communication which we are going to study in this topic is serial communication, not parallel communication. It will transfer data bit by bit, not all the bits at the same time. So this was the origin, we can say, of the communications. So let's start. Computers must be able to communicate with each other in multiprocessor distributed systems. So to achieve number of things, to help to for the human being to transmit the data, to receive the data. So computer must be able to communicate. Computer must be able to transmit and receive the data. So how it will be possible? So this communication can be done in parallel or in serial way. So this data transfer or to able to communicate computers, we can do that communication in two ways, parallel way or a serial way. Parallel communication is little bit expensive and fast. See, parallel communication is fast, that's why it is expensive, and serial communication is slow because it will transfer data bit by bit, and parallel communication will transfer data all the bits at the same time. That's why parallel communication is fast, but it comes with a price, it expensive, and serial communication is slow, that's why it is cost effective. But we want to have cost effective also, and we want to have communication fast also. So how it will be possible? So that's what we are going to see in this topic. So SBUF, this thing is used in this topic mainly. So SBUF is one of the register, one of the SFR. That's what we are going to use in this topic for serial communication. This is serial communication in which it can send only one bit at a time. So as I have mentioned you earlier, this communication will send only one bit at a time, at a given time. But what will happen? Okay, uh, processor want to send the data. Processor want to send the data, and suppose processor will send it each bit at a given time. So processor will be busy sending data only, or processor will be busy receiving the data. Processor cannot do other work. So this will make processor totally busy. So to avoid that, okay, to avoid that, we are going to use SBUF register in between transmitter and transmitter serial port and processor in this microcontroller. Because what will happen, to send a single data or to receive a single data, it will require 8 cycles. So to avoid this, we have to use SBUF register, or we will use SBUF register in between transmitter serial port and a processor. So what will happen, processor will write the data in SBUF directly in a single cycle, like this. Move SBUF comma hash 25h, for example. So 25h is 8-bit data. So 8-bit data is written in a single cycle into the SBUF. Now here the processor is free to do the other work. So SBUF will take care to transmit the data as well as receive the data. Following diagram will simulate the working of the transmitter in 8051 microcontroller, as well as we are going to see um, working of the receiver also. First of all, we will see working of the transmitter in 8051 microcontroller. So it somehow looks like this. Okay. So in this 8051 microcontroller, this is processor, this is receive pin, this is transmit pin. So in between processor and transmitter and receiver pin, there is SBUF register. This SBUF register, this SBUF register is 8 bit. This SBUF register is 8 bit. uh, so processor will try to communicate, processor will transmit the data or receive the data through this SBUF register. So what will happen? We will see step by step. Initially, um, yeah, here this will take 8 bits. This will take 8 cycles to transmit the data. So we can achieve this communication parallelly also with the help of this port P1. Using port P1, we can send the data in a single cycle, like move P1 from a hash 25H. This 25H data is transmitted in a single cycle. It is written to P1, port P1. We can achieve the same effect of parallelism with the help of processor and SBUF. So what will happen? Processor will move or will transmit all the data in a SBUF in a single cycle with move SBUF comma hash 25H. So it will write the data into SBUF. Now this SBUF, this SBUF will send the data, or SBUF will take care of transmitting the data individually. It will transmit the data on the transmission pin. After transmission of the data, SBUF will become empty. As soon as the SBUF becomes empty, means it can again receive the data from the transmitter, from the processor. From the processor. Uh, for that, it will notify the processor with interrupt. Ti is equal to 1. This Ti is interrupt. Processor will be informed with this bit Ti equal to 1. As soon as processor gets notified with this interrupt, processor again can send the data to SBUF, and SBUF will, and this cycle goes on. So what happens, how this interrupt occurs, and how this how the Ti bit is used, we will see with the help of this diagram. So whenever the data is transmitted, interrupt will occur. Ti will become 1. Processor will go to the respective ISR. In that ISR, processor will write the data to SBUF. Processor will write the data to SBUF, and at the end of this ISR, processor will clear the interrupt flag. Okay. Again, and this cycle goes on. Yeah. So uh, same thing happens at the receiver side also, but in the reverse order. Let's see how it happens with the help of this following diagram. Uh, yeah. So here, whatever the data is coming from the transmitter side, it will be first of all received into this SBUF register. First of all, it will be received in this SBUF register. Here we have sent this data 25. Okay, 2 5. So in the same order the data will be received. The data will be received like this. It will receive 5 and it will receive 2. See, 5 and 2, 25. So it will receive first of all lower nibble and then higher nibble. Yeah, this is what the communication. This is how the communication happens. This is basically a basic rule. We have to remember this rule. It will not first of all receive 2 and then 5. It will receive 5 and then 2. Remember this, lower nibble and then higher nibble. Okay. So data is received at the transmission receiver side, RxD, on a RxD pin. That data will be received into the SBUF, and processor will read that data from the SBUF. Whenever the SBUF is full, whenever the SBUF is full, processor will be notified with the interrupt Ri equal to 1. Ri equal to 1. And the data will be copied from the SBUF to processor. So how the interrupt occurs with this diagram. So whenever the data is received, interrupt will happen. Ri equal to 1 bit will be set. It will go to the respective ISR. In that ISR, processor will read data from the SBUF register. Okay, so SBUF register data will be moved from SBUF to processor to accumulator, and at the end of this ISR, it will clear the interrupt. Remember, at the end of both the ISR, at the end of transmission ISR and receiver ISR, we have to clear the both the flags TI and RI respectively. Remember this, we have to clear it. Next, so this slides will briefly explain whatever the content was there in the diagram. So what is SBUF, how the what is RI, what is TI, we'll see once again. We'll revise the things once again. So SBUF, what is SBUF? So this SBUF are present at the transmitter side also and at the receiver side also. These these are two physically different SBUF registers. Okay, they are not the same register. They are both the physically two different SBUF registers. Receiver SBUF register and transmitter SBUF register. So receiver SBUF register, it holds the received character, and transmitter SBUF register, it holds the character to be transmitted. These SBUF registers are nothing but one of the SFR, as I have mentioned earlier, and address of the SFR is 99H. When a complete character is received, RI will be set. RI will be set means when the SBUF is full at the receiver side, RI will be set in the SCON register. When the complete character is transmitted means whenever the SBUF is empty, then the TI bit will be set in the SCON register. So what we have to compare over here is this SBUF. Whenever this SBUF at the receiver side is full, RI is set. Whenever the SBUF at the transmitter side is empty, then the TI will be set in the SCON register. SCON register. This SCON register we are going to see in the coming slides. Okay, we'll see that. These things we have already seen, like RI, TI. We'll again revise those things. Okay. When a complete character, yeah, this is this part I have completed. Sorry. So both of this bit RI and TI must be cleared at the end of ISR. As I have shown you earlier, this we have to clear this RI and TI. We have to clear those things at the end of ISR. Next, so data. What is data transmission and data reception? So data transmission, processor writes the data in SBUF to perform operation in one cycle. When the complete data is sent, TI is set to 1 in SCON register, and the data is transmitted through TX, and we have to clear TI, which is while returning from ISR. This process repeats. Similarly, just we are just focus over here. We are just revising the things once again. What happens at the data reception? Data is received through RX pin. That data is then received in the SBUF through RX. On complete data reception, Ri is set to 1. In ISR, data is received in the processor with instruction like move a comma sbuff, and Ri is cleared in that ISR only. This process happens. Now this point we have to remember. Yeah, REN. Okay, data reception happens only if REN pin is 1, means reception is enabled. At that time only reception will happen. If reception pin is not enabled, then then the data cannot be received at the receiver side. This pin needs to be 1, and this pin uh, is controlled by programmer. Whenever the programmer, suppose you are the programmer and you want to receive the data, then you will set this pin equal to 1. And suppose you are the programmer and you don't want to receive the data, then you will make this pin as a 0 to avoid the reception. You don't want to have a data. There must be your reason only. Okay, there must be reason that you don't want to have that data or whatever. That is up to you. So to avoid that reception, uh, REN pin will be set to 0. Next, so we have seen number of things from this SCON register. We have seen RI, we have seen TI, we have seen REN. Yeah, and there are two more pins which are very easy. We will see in these slides. So RI, TI, REN, SM0 and SM1. These 5 pins are very easy. There is nothing to understand from those pins. So first of all, TI. So TI is a transmit interrupt flag, as we have seen. It will set to 1 at the end of bit 7 in mode 0 and at the beginning of stop bit or ninth bit in the mode 1 and mode 2 and 3. Listen. I know you have not understood this thing, this mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Just remember, whenever the S buff is empty, TI will occur. We will see this mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3 in coming slides. For now, remember, TI will set when the data is transmitted, when the S buff is empty, and RI will be set when the S buff is full. RI. Receiver interrupt flag is set to 1 when the data in the SBUF is full and we want to receive that data into the processor. At that time, RI will become 1. So we will read whatever written over here is receive interrupt flag set to 1 at the end of bit 7. Bit 7 means last bit of the reception in mode 0 and at the beginning of stop bit or ninth bit in mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Next bit, next pin REN. Our next bit from SCON register is REN. Reception enable. Receive enable bit set to 1 to enable reception, cleared to 0 to disable reception. This is very easy. Now there are two more pins, SM0 and SM1. Now here the part comes of mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. So these two pin will decide in which mode we are transmitting the data and we are receiving the data. So serial port, using this bit we can set the values like, look over here, 0 0 that is mode 0, 0 1 that is mode 1, 1 0 that is mode 2, 1 1 that is mode 3. Remember, I have taken these images from the Kenneth Ayla book. That book is very interesting, very good to understand the topic, good to read. And, it will make you understand in easy language. Yeah. So coming to the topic, back to the topic again. So 00 is mode 0, 01 is mode 1, 10 is mode 2, 11 is mode 3. So mode 0 is also called as shift register. Baud rate, we will see this baud rate. What is this baud rate in coming slides? Mode 1 is 8-bit UART. UART is a universal asynchronous receiver transmission. Uh, Mode 2 is 9-bit UART, and mode 3 is also a 9-bit UART. So the point remaining from this SCON register is TB8, 8-bit, 9th bit to be transmitted, RB8, 9th bit to be received, and SM2. So these three pins, these three bits we will see. Next, so before going to study the modes, serial data modes, first of all, we will study the structures of the serial data mode. There are four modes as we have seen right now: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. So serial mode 0 is a simple mode among all the modes. In this mode, we can transmit or receive only 8 bits of data. It has only 8 bits of data. It has only 8 fields. D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7 means a byte of information. 8 bits. That's all. Serial mode 1. Here, along with this 8 bits of data, it has a start bit and a stop bit. It has start bit and a stop bit. Start bit is always 0. Why it is 0? We'll see that. This is very interesting. This is really very interesting. And stop bit is always 1. So total 10 bits are there in serial mode 1. So 8 bits of data, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, and start bit and stop bit. Start bit is 0, stop bit is 1. Serial mode 2. So serial mode 2 and 3 are same. Same in a structure, wise, but properties are different. So in serial mode and mode 3, we again have 8 bits of data: D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, and D7, plus a start bit and stop bit, and one more thing, that is ninth programmable bit, which is either 0 or 1. You, programmer, has authority to set that ninth bit. You can set that ninth bit to 0 or to 1. It is up to you. So again, the start bit is always 0 and stop bit is always 1. So total 11 bits of data. The structure is like this: 0, first of all 8 bits, D0, 8 bits of data, D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, then start bit, and then the stop bit, and ninth programmable bit. This is ninth programmable bit. It can be either 0 or 1. It is according to the programmer. We will see the use of this start bit, stop bit, and the ninth programmable bit in coming slides. So this is, first of all, remember, this is a simple structure of the serial data mode communication. Okay, it has a huge use while communicating the things. So this communication, we are talking continuously from the first slide to till this slide, that communication. This communication is of two types. Okay, is of two types according to the clock, according to the or based on the clock: synchronous communication and asynchronous communication. In synchronous communication, now you will say that synchronous communication shares the same frequency and asynchronous communication shares a different frequency. So it is not like that. It is not at all like that. both the sender and the receiver needs to be at the same frequency always, whatever the type of communication it is. The communication and the sender and receiver needs to be in the same frequency always. So the main difference is, in synchronous communication, sender and receiver shares the same clock with same frequency, and in asynchronous communication both sender and receiver don't share the same clock with same frequency. Frequency is same, but in asynchronous communication sender and receiver don't share the same clock. Here in synchronous communication sender and receiver shares the same clock. Now, there are again three types according to the transmission mode: simplex mode, half duplex mode, and full duplex mode. And yes, you already know these things. These are very, very easy things. In simplex mode, the communication is unidirectional and uh, as on a one-way street. Okay, this communication is only unidirectional. A single, either you can send or either you can what we can say, either you can receive or either you can transmit. Only one at a time can send the data, or only one at a time uh, transmits the data, sorry, receives the data. Yeah. Half duplex mode. In half duplex mode, each station can both transmit and receive the data, but not at the same time. In full duplex mode, both the stations can transmit and receive data simultaneously, as on our mobile phones, as on we are calling every our friends and we are talking on the phone, like that, full duplex mode. Next, error checking. So before going to start the remaining three bits, these are the points we need to understand. Error checking. Why the concept of error checking is important? See, whenever you are receiving the data, it is compulsory, or it is again up to you, but it is necessary that the data should be appropriate. The data should be error free. There should be no virus in that data, or there should be no misinformation in that data. So that's why error checking is very, very important. And logically, where the error checking will happen, error checking will happen always, error checking will happen, of course the error checking will happen at the receiver side only. So that's why error checking happens at the receiver side. uh, we should analyze the data while receiving. So there are different ways that we are going to study in this topic: how to uh, check the error, or how to receive the data, how the data is received in different modes. So to receive that data, these modes are created: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. These modes are created for the reception of this data only. So error checking is dependent on bit SM2. Now here this part comes. We know that uh, or from the SCON register we have seen that three bits were remaining: SM2, TB8 and RB8. So from that, this is SM2. Whenever the SM2 is 0, no error checking will happen at the receiver side. Whenever the SM2 is 1, error checking will happen at the receiver side. And always remember, error checking happens on the ninth bit. Always error checking happens on the ninth bit. But as we have seen that in mode 0, there is no ninth bit. In mode 0, there was only 8 bit of data. That's why no error checking in mode 0. In rest of the modes, there is error checking. As I have written over here, besides mode 0, all the modes has 9 bit, so that besides mode 0, error checking happens in mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3. Whenever you don't want to uh, check for the errors, you can set the bit to uh, SM2 bit to 0, or you can use mode 0. But remember, uh, the frequency or the baud rate means number of bits and number of bit transmitted at per second, or number of bits received at per second, means speed of the bits transmission, bits reception. That is what the baud rate is. So the frequency or the baud rate of the mode 0 is less compared to mode 1 to 3. So this is important. Error checking happens on the 9th bit. uh, that's why there is no error checking in mode 0, and error checking is there is error checking in mode 1, 2 and 3. And error checking also depends on SM2, as I have said earlier. Whenever SM2 is 0, no error checking. SM2 is 1, then error checking will happen. So remember, error checking is not compulsory. Error checking is not mandatory. It is up to you. As well as reception is also up to you. Up to you means programmer. If programmer want to receive the data, he or she may set REN to 1, or whenever programmer don't want to receive the data, he she may set the REN pin to 0. Yeah, so remember all these things. These things are very important. I know you are thinking like what's the use of this now, what we have achieved from this. So in coming slides I will give you a splendid example. From that you will understand the use of these bits, use of this error checking. Okay, but please be with this video until the end of this video. You will understand this fabulous topic. Yeah, mode 0. In mode 0, as we have seen, there are only 8 bits. There is no ninth bit. That's why error checking will not happen in mode 0. In mode 1, there is ninth bit, which is stop bits, which is 1. So error checking will happen on this bit. Error checking will happen on this bit, on this stop bit. And the stop bit needs to be 1. If the ninth bit or stop bit is 1, the data will be received, means data is correct. If the stop bit is 0, data will not be received. Okay, so this is important. In mode 2 and 3, error checking happens on the ninth bit. This ninth bit can be 0 or 1. It depends on the programmer. If this ninth bit is 1, then data will be received. When the ninth bit is 0, the data will not be received. So it has a huge use. Okay, this is not just for a fun. Okay, it has a very huge use in the topic. Yeah, so we'll move to the next slide. Serial mode, I will explain you the serial mode 0 at the last. First of all, we will study serial data mode 1, 2 and 3. So serial data mode 1, that is standard UART. UART stands for universal asynchronous receiver transmitter. As the name suggests, it is asynchronous. As it is asynchronous, means what we come to understand, asynchronous means it shares the same clock. Sorry, very sorry. It has sender and receiver are at same frequency but will not share the same clock. That is what the asynchronous is. In mode 1, SBUF becomes 10 bits of full duplex receiver and transmitter. So mode 1 is full duplex communication mode. We can transmit at the same time, we can receive at the same time, we can do both the things at the same time. So that's why mode is full duplex receiver transmission mode. So remember one thing, besides mode 0, mode 1, mode 2 and mode 3, all the modes are full duplex communication mode. Transmission data pattern is like this: start bit, data, and stop bit. Total 10 bits. This is what the uh, structure of the serial data mode 1. Yeah, Ti will become 1. When the Ti will become 1? When all the data from the SBUF is transmitted. At the similarly to the Ti, at the receiver side, whenever the data is received in the same order, that reception um, uh, reception, where is Ri bit? Okay, wait a minute. So first of all, we'll read this thing. Received data is received in the same order. In the first slide, we in the first third, fourth slide, I guess, we have seen that uh, as the data is sent, in the same order data will be received, means 25. So it will receive first of all 5, then 2. So lower nibble first and then higher nibble. That's why received data is received in the same order that the reception, and that reception is triggered by falling edge, that is start bit 0. Means whenever the start bit is 0, then and then only it will receive the data, otherwise it will discard the data. Okay, it will count receiver side will count till 8 bits of data. After 8, it will not accept any data until the edge falls down. Edge falls down. I will show you with the help of coming slides of diagram. Okay, and in the receiver side, Ri will become, I have not mentioned Ri thing in this slide, sorry for that, but listen to this. Ri will become 1. Ri will become 1 when the data sent by the transmitter will be accumulated into the SBUF. Then Ri will become 1. If the data accumulated in the SBUF of the reception side is faulty, then Ri will stay as it is, like Ri will stay 0. It will not accept data because the data is faulty. Uh, so error checking happens in mode 1. Error checking happens on 9th bit. Okay, error checking happens on 9th bit. So that 9th bit, which is stop bit in mode 1, will be saved in RB8 register. So receiver bit 9th bit. RB8 means 0th bit is 1 bit. That's why 8th means 9th bit. So 9th bit will be received in RB8. And on that, error checking will happen. If 9th bit is 1, then Ri will become 1 and the data will be transferred from SBUF to processor. Now, this, I know this is a little bit complicated, but try to understand the relation between this bits. Check. SM2 is 0. Error checking will happen? No. No error checking will happen on SM2 is 0. When SM2 is 1, error checking will happen. If the 9th bit is 1, then data is correct. Means the data will be transferred from SBUF to processor, Ri will become 1. If 9th bit is 0, means the data is wrong, processor will not accept the data and Ri will remain as it is, Ri will remain 0 only. And on the transmission side, Ri 9th bit is copied from the TB8. Means processor SBUF will transmit the data, port, serial port will add the start bit 0 and serial port will add the 9th bit. Means 9th bit will be copied from the TB8 at the end of the data. Next slide. So using from this slide you will come to understand number of things. So there are two cases. First case is SM2 is 0, no error checking. SM2 is 1, that is error checking happens. So this is receiver side. This is receiver side. Okay, receiver. It is receiving the data. This is SBUF. There is no data into the SBUF right now. And this signal is, this is idle signal. Means it is 1. This is not 0. This is not 0. If it is, whenever this falling edge appears, means the data, we are receiving the data, but right now it is 1, means it is idle. It will not accept any data. No data will be accepted into the SBUF. On the coming slides, on the coming data, suppose anybody wants to send the data, or data is coming, the edge will fall. There will be a drop. This drop will indicate the data is coming. Whenever this is 1, this is idle. Rx will not receive any data because it is idle, it is 1. Whenever there is a drop, means whenever there is a 0th bit, it indicates that it is a starting bit. It indicates that it is a starting bit. So it is a starting bit. That's why now it will receive the data. So this falling edge is very, very important. Remember that. Falling edge, and this is stop bit. Idle means 1, and 1 means stop bit. In this diagram also we will see that. So next 8 bits of data. Again the stop bit means again 1, means again idle state. In here, first of all, idle state, processor was SBUF was not accepting the data. Whenever there was a drop, SBUF started to accept data. Processor will accept data till 8 bits. It will count till 8 bits. After that, there is a stop bit. This stop bit is saved into RP8. If the stop bit is 1, the data is valid. The data will be copied from SBUF to processor. SBUF to processor, and after stop bit, SBUF will not receive any data unless and until drop occurs. So this is what the working of serial mode 1. Okay, this is stop bit. Error checking happens on this stop bit. If stop bit is 1, the data will be accepted. If stop bit is 0, data will not be accepted. So the cases SM2 is 0, means there is no error checking. It will accept data as it is. It will accept data as it is. But if the SM2 is 1, it will check for the stop bit. If stop bit is 1, it will accept data, and if stop bit is 0, it will not accept the data. So we can put the equation like this: SM2 is 0, Ri simply becomes 1. Data accepted in SBUF as it is. SM2 is 1, means error checking is happening. Ri needs to be 1 to accept the data. If Ri is 0, it will not accept the data. Means Ri, so the value of Ri is dependent on the stop bit. So with the help of this slide, you can understand this mode 1 very, very easily. So we'll see the flow and the baud rate. What is this flow and what is this baud rate? Yeah, baud rate is first of all, baud rate is nothing but the bits transmitted per second. Okay, that is what the baud rate is. So the flow is like this. I have shown you earlier also. Idle state means no data is accepted, means 1. Whenever there is a falling edge, whenever there is a 0, whenever there is a start bit, it will accept data till 8 bits. After that, the edge will rise, means stop bit, means again idle state. Again idle state means SBUF will not accept data. Yeah. So bit time is 1 upon f, that is baud rate. F is frequency of the baud rate. So timer 1. So to calculate baud rate, timer 1 is used, and timer mode 2, that is auto reload mode, is used to generate the baud rate. Now friends, remember, I cannot explain this timer all over here. To understand timer, please get some time and watch my video on timer. You will understand what is timer. So if you understood the timer easily, you can you will get to know this topic very easily. For now, just remember we are using timer 1 with mode 2, that is auto reload mode, means 8 bits of timer we are using. So formula for the f or baud rate is 2 raised to s mod upon 32 d into timer 1 overflow frequency. Timer 1 overflow frequency. Timer 1 is a bit counter. The frequency is up to you. You can set to 3, 4, 5 up to 6, 5, 5, 3, 5. It is up to you. Okay. So 6, 5, 5, 3, 5 means it will be very huge. It will take time for the next bit to read. Okay, so 2 raised to s mod upon 32d. S mod is a bit from the pcon register. S mod has two values, 0 or 1. Whenever s mod is 0, the frequency is 1 upon 32 into timer mode frequency, overflow frequency. And s whenever s mod is 1 means 2 upon 32 means 1 upon 16 into the timer 1 overflow frequency. Now here in serial mode data, here in serial data mode 1, the baud rate depends upon this timer overflow frequency. It is up to you, it is up to the programmer how to set this overflow frequency. Okay, that's why it is variable baud rate mode. Just remember this, it is variable baud rate mode because it uses timer 1 overflow frequency. Yeah, this diagram. Here we can see that timer 1 is used. Timer 1 is used. So SBUF, the data transmission frequency, depends upon this clock frequency, depends upon this frequency which is passed from this timer, and we'll go to the SBUF. According to this frequency, it will transmit the data. You can set this frequency whatever you want. Suppose you want to transmit a bit on every two single pulse, you can set, for example, 1, 2, transmit the data. Again 1, 2, transmit the data. 1, 2, transmit the data. So this is what the frequency of the timer overflow. So this is what we are said over here. It depends upon timer 1 overflow frequency. Means it will transmit data according to the frequency of the timer. So that's why it is variable. You can set to you will set to 2, somebody will set to 3, 4, 5 till 6, 5, 5, 3, 5. That's why it is variable baud rate mode, because it is this clock pulse is passing through this timer mode. Coming to the next mode, serial mode 2. Now this is interesting mode. Serial mode 2. Serial mode 2 and serial mode 3 is interesting mode because it has this ninth bit. It has this ninth programmable bit, rather programmable bit. It is up to the programmer to set the bit to 0 or 1. Total 11 bits of data. Initial start bit 0, data, ninth programmable bit can be 0 or 1, and then stop bit. So error checking will happen on this bit, on this ninth programmable bit. Again, this is UART, universal asynchronous receiver transmission, means it will not share the same clock. In mode 2, SBUF becomes 11 bit of full duplex receiver transmitter, while transmission 9 bit is received from the DB8. Now transmitter bit 8 will give the ninth bit in SCON, and in and at the receiver side that ninth bit will be saved in RB8. stop bit, start and stop bit is discarded in the case of mode 2. In the case of mode 1, stop bit was saved in RB8 for the error checking, for the purpose of error checking, but in mode 2 we have 9 bit, special 9 bit for the purpose of error checking. That's why we will discard start and stop bit. TI becomes 1 on all data transmission. Receiver data is received in the same order, and that reception is triggered by the falling edge. Now, whenever you read or whenever you will listen to this falling edge word, you will understand what is this falling edge. Falling edge means starting of the reception of the data. Each bit interval is inverse of the baud rate, means 1 upon f. Serial data mode 2. Multiprocessor mode. This is multiprocessor mode. Mode 1 is standard UART. This is multiprocessor mode. And mode 3 also multiprocessor mode. And mode 0 is shift register. We will see that what is shift register in coming slides. For now, serial data mode 2. There are again two cases. SM2 is 0, SM2 is equal to 1. SM2 is 0 means no error checking. SM2 equal to 1 means error checking. Again, sorry for that, I am continuously recording this video, that's why. SBUF will receive data. Will SBUF here, in this case, SBUF will not receive data because it is idle. Idle means edge is 1. It will not receive any data. As soon as falling edge or drop or start bit will start to receive data. At what? Till what it will receive data? Till 8 bits. It will count till 8 bits and will receive data till 8 bits. After 8 bit, 9th bit will be there. So this 9 bit can be 1 or this 9 bit can be 0. If this 9 bit is 1 means the data is valid. If 9 bit is 0 means the data is invalid. It will be simply discarded from the SBUF. And then stop bit. Stop bit means again idle state. Again idle state. It will not receive anything after this. After this, the data is received in all these cases is only this 8-bit data. This is just the packaging. Idle, drop, 9 bit, stop bit. This is just the packaging. Data is of only 8 bit. 9 bit is for error checking. Start bit and stop bit is discarded. Again the two cases. This 9 bit is for error checking. This 9th bit will be saved into RB8. Okay. Again there are two cases. SM2 equal to 0 means there is no error checking. Data will be received as it is. Whatever the 9 bit is. 9 bit is, if 9 bit is 0 or 9 bit is 1, data will be received because SM2 is 0. If SM2 is 1, error checking will happen, and at that time 9 bit need to be 1. When the 9th bit is 1, data will be received. If the 9th bit is 0, data will be discarded from the SBUF. Yeah, so this is what the structure of the serial data mode 2 multiprocessor mode. What thing we have added? We have added only this 9th bit. In mode 1, there was a stop bit. If stop bit is 1, data is accepted. But here we have the cases. What cases? 9 bit cases. Means either 0 or 1. And this 9 bit is programmable. Means programmer has the right to send 0 or to send 1. Tell me whether the programmer will send a 0 or not. Yeah, programmer will send the 0. Why? Why programmer will send the false data? Why the programmer will send a 0? I will explain this thing with coming slide, with coming interesting example. Right now, just understood this. Try to understand this thing only. Yeah. Next. So we can put the equation like this. When SM2 is 0, RI simply becomes 1 and data is accepted. Means no error checking. When SM2 is 1 means error checking will happen and at that time ninth bit needs to be 1. At that time Ri will become 1. If ninth bit is 0, Ri will remain 0. No data is accepted. So this simple equation will give you full-fledged idea of what is this serial data mode 2. Next, flow of the mode 2 and baud rate. So flow, first of all, idle state, start state, falling edge means acceptance of the data, will accept data till 8th bit. Till 8th bit. Ninth bit will be received in RB8. On that, error checking will happen, and again stop bit, that is 1, means idle state. After that, no data will be accepted into the SBUF. The baud rate of the timer mode 2 is very high compared to any other mode. So what is the formula for this baud rate is F baud 2 equal to S2 raised to S mod upon 64D into oscillator frequency. Interesting point over here to note is this baud rate. This baud rate is not dependent on to the timer frequency. It depends directly upon the clock pulse. Directly upon the clock pulse. If S mod is 0, the frequency will be 1 upon 64 into F oscillator's frequency, and if S mod is 1, then the frequency, the baud rate will be 1 upon 32 into F oscillator frequency. In this diagram, you will come to understand. Here, we are not taking the frequency from the timer. Not taking frequency from the timer. We are not accepting frequency from the timer. We are directly giving clock pulse to SBUF, to transmitter. Means it will transmit at the data of this clock, at the rate of this clock pulse. It will transmit the data at the rate of this clock pulse directly. We are not accepting data. We are not accepting data. We are not uh, taking the frequency of the timer. Means we are using fixed frequency, fixed F oscillator frequency, that is 1 megahertz. 12 divided by 12, 12 megahertz divided by internally 12 will get 1 megahertz of frequency. We are transmitting data continuously at a fixed frequency 1 megahertz. Means it does not depend on the timer frequency. That's why this formula fixed suited over here. 2 in 2 raised to S mod upon 64 into F oscillator frequency. F oscillator frequency. I guess last part. Yeah, serial mode 3. Here, mode 3 is identical to mode 2, except the baud rate frequency is determined exactly as in the mode 1. Means baud rate of serial mode 1 and 2 is variable, where the baud rate of serial mode 2 is fixed. Yeah, so beautiful example on this mode 2 and mode 3. Why the ninth bit is important? Why the programmer will send 0th bit? So there is a logic behind it. Programmer may send 0th bit. Programmer may send 1th bit. If ninth bit is 1, means it will accept any data. Ninth bit is 0, means it cannot accept the data. In with respect to SM2 equal to 1. When SM2 is 0, it will accept anything. SM2 equal to 1 means it will check for the 9th bit. If 9th bit is 1, then it will accept data. If 9th bit is 0, then it will not accept data. So why to do all this thing? What is the use of this thing in daily life? So for that, I have beautiful example for that. So let's say user 1 is having app called Woot app. Okay, you all know that with the help of this Woot app, we can watch the serials on the Woot app. There are some serials on the Woot app which are free. There are some serials on the Woot app which are paid. We have to pay for that. We have to pay to watch all the episodes of that respective serial. So here the user 1 is there. User 1 with SM2 equal to 1. What is this SM2 equal to 1? Means this user is having unregistered version of Woot, or this user is free user of the wood. Means this user in here, user can see only free serials. Okay, user cannot watch the paid serials over here. That's why SM21 means only valid data is accepted in this vote. And another user is there with SM21, means this user is subscribed user, registered user. It has subscribed vote application. This user is paid for the vote, means this user can view, this user can watch all the paid free serials on this vote app. SM2 equal to 1 means can only watch free serials. SM2 equal to 0 means can watch only paid. SM2 equal to 0 means can watch any serial. This is free user, this is subscribed user. Now there is one serial named Asur. Very interesting, very beautiful serial. Mast Zabardast Asur. So so Asur, in Asur episode 1 is free on Voot. You can go and check on the Voot. Episode 1 is free, rest of the episodes are paid, not free. So we can relate like this. Episode 1, in episode 1, after the data bit, ninth bit is 1, means valid data. Valid data. Either free user or either subscribed user, both will accept the data because 9 bit is 1. In the case of SM2, it will check for the 9 bit. Is 9 bit, if 9 bit is 1, it will accept the data. Now let's see. The data is transmitted to the both of the user. Data is transmitted to the both the user. Both have started application at the same time and started watching Asur serial. In Asur serial, episode 1 is free. That means the 9 bit is 1. Means 9 bit is 1 means here with the with respect to this user, SM2 is 1 means it will accept the data. Here SM2 is 0. It doesn't care for the 9 bit. It will also accept the data. But yeah, it will accept data, it will also accept the data. But rest of the episodes are not free. Not free means the ninth bit is 0. As the ninth bit is 0 and this user is SM2 equal to 1, it will check for the error. It will check for the ninth bit. Here the ninth bit is 0 means this user cannot watch. This user cannot have the access to all the rest of the episodes of the Asur. This user or this program of Wood in or this application of Wood in the user, in this user will not accept this data because 9 bit is 0. But with the case of this user, SM2 is 0, it doesn't care for the 9 bit, it will accept all the episodes. This user paid for that, and in this way the Voot application is programmed in this app, in this mobile, and here this user is free user. In this way the Voot is programmed in the this mobile. So data will be sent to the this user also, data will be sent to the this user also. Rest of the episodes, this user's mobile will not accept the data, this user's mobile will accept the data. So in this way we can simulate the use of ninth bit in the real life. Okay, ninth bit in the real life. Yeah. uh, watch this serial, very important, very not important but interesting. Sorry for that, not important but interesting. Yeah. Last mode, that is serial mode 0. This is shift register mode. Why it has called as shift register mode? Because at a given clock pulse only single data is transmitted from the receiver to the from the transmitter to the receiver. This is only single mode, which is synchronous mode. What is synchronous mode? Synchronous mode means it shares the same clock and the sender and receiver are at the same frequency. Important thing to remember is share the same clock. Okay, share the same clock. It shares the same clock. That's why it is a synchronous mode. Here reception and transmission happens on the same pin of the transmitter and receiver, that is RxD. RxD at the receiver and RxD at the transmitter will perform the operation of transmission and receiver. And TXD pin is used to pass the clock pulse from the transmitter to a receiver. Baud rate is fixed, that is oscillatory frequency 1 upon 12, that's it, means 1 megahertz of frequency is there, that's it, baud rate is fixed. On every falling edge data is shifted in, means on every falling edge of the clock pulse data is shifted from the transmitter to receiver. It is of the form 8-bit half duplex mode. Only one at a time can pass the value. That's why it is half duplex mode. Here we can see that on this RxD pin, data is transmitted and data is received. On RxD pin, data is transmitted. On RxD pin, data is received. And TXD pin, on TXD pin, clock is passed from transmitter to receiver. On every falling edge, data is transmitted from the transmitter to receiver. On every falling edge, data is transmitted. On every falling edge, data is transmitted from transmitter to receiver. So this is all this regarding the serial communication. I guess I have completed all the part from the serial communication, that is use of SBUF, then SCON register, then working of the all the modes, mode 0 to mode 3, uh, then baud rate, uh, SCON register, all the bits from the SCON register, S mod bit from the PCON register. So I guess we have completed all the parts from the serial communication. I hope you understand everything from this topic. If you have any query, any doubt, please comment below in the section. Thanks a lot for watching my video. Thank you.